Stephen K. Scott lost 9 jobs in his first 6 years after college. Then, using a specific set of strategies, he and his partner started a tiny company with $5,000 that grew into more than a dozen companies, reaching billions of dollars in sales, including Victoria Jackson Cosmetics, Deal-A-Meal, and The Total Gym. His books, including Mentored by a Millionaire, The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, and The Greatest Words Ever Spoken, have become bestsellers all over the world. His interviews on Larry King Live, The 700 Club, TBN 100 Huntley Street, and countless others have been seen by millions. Now Steve wants to partner with you to take what he calls the biggest product breakthrough he's ever found to the world.
Hi, I'm Steve Scott. Do you have any idea how frustrating, discouraging, and even despairing it is to lose 9 jobs in your first 6 years after college? My question is, what do you think the difference was between the first 9 jobs and job number 10? Turns out it was only 3 things. I didn't get more education, I didn't get more money, I didn't have a higher IQ, I was the same guy, didn't change my personality type, but 3 things happened that changed everything. Number 1, I found a set of strategies that when it comes to business or success, doesn't matter what kind of business. In fact, Donald Trump said that these strategies were so powerful and so easily applied. He said they could empower anyone from a college student to the CEO of a Fortune 500 company to achieve levels of success they never dreamed of. That's what he said about my strategies. And so I found this set of strategies, and one of the strategies is that of effective partnering. You see, I discovered that no one has ever done anything significant, anything extraordinary by themselves. In fact, the people who have achieved more success than anybody else have always done it through effective partnering. So the second thing that changed is I found the right partner. And then number 3, and this is something that has to happen to achieve extraordinary success, you have to find a breakthrough product. And our first product that we had was a breakthrough product. A breakthrough product is something that does something that nothing else in the world will do as well as that does, or as economically as it does. The problem is, it's hard to find a breakthrough. I remember when the Total Gym came around, it was a whole new piece of fitness equipment, and the inventors told me that it was a rehab piece of equipment originally, and Chuck Norris had been rehabbed on it. And I said, but what's so special about it? And they said, it's the first piece of equipment ever that offers you total range of motion, so you can work out according to how your body actually functions. And so it's so much better. And so we launched Total Gym back in 1996, and to date we've done right around $2 billion in sales. That's the power of a breakthrough product. Well, one day a man came to me and he said, Steve, I'm going to introduce you to the single greatest breakthrough you will ever find in your lifetime. And he said it's a supplement. And as soon as he said that, I put up my hand, said, not interested. He said, why? I said, I don't believe in him. He said, well, Steve, this is different. And I said, how's it different? He said, what it does in the cell, every cell in the body, can be verified and quantified through a blood test. And what it does is so significant, it changes everything. And I said, well, tell me about it. And he said, no, you need to hear about it right from the horse's mouth. He said it was created by a medical doctor, also a medical researcher, a research scientist. And he said, you need to see his science. So I met with the doctor, I saw the science, and I got to tell you, I was blown away. And what this doctor's science focused on was a miracle molecule that the cells produce. That molecule is 3 amino acids in one molecule. It's a tripeptide, and the tripeptide is called glutathione. It's literally the body's master antioxidant. The scientist explained it like this. He said, when you ingest an antioxidant, you drink that good glass of orange juice or something, or some exotic juice, you take a swig of that. He said that's kind of like those helicopters that fight forest fires. I don't know if you've seen them. I used to live in California. But a helicopter has a big bucket. It dumps it either into a swimming pool or the ocean, picks up a bunch of water, flies over to a patch of trees, and drops it. Great for the patch of trees, but the rest of the forest, thousands and thousands of trees are still on fire, and the helicopter leaves. He said that's what happens when you ingest an antioxidant, is it takes care of one kind of oxidation in one patch of cells, but the rest of your cells are still on fire. He said our product is like having an underground reservoir, an underground lake, and every tree in the forest is tapped into that lake. And as soon as there's even a little spark, that tree puts out its own spark, so the fire never erupts in the first place. Every tree takes care of itself. And he said our product just keeps that lake full, so it has all the water it needs to put out that fire. That's what his product did. It wasn't glutathione, but rather it was the precursing nutrients so the cells could manufacture more to take care of their own fires. And I just thought, wow, that explains it. I found out that it's the primary detoxifier of the cell. So it gets rid of the toxic elements that are in the cell. I found out that it also is responsible for protecting the nucleus, the nerve center of the cell. It's also the primary protector of the immune cell. Our immune cells protect us. Well, glutathione protects the immune cell. It's the primary protector of the mitochondrial DNA. So what about that? Well, guess what? It's the breakdown of the mitochondrial DNA that accelerates aging and all the problems that go along with aging. In fact, one of the things the doctor told me, he said, Steve, this actually slows down the aging process. He told me that it would improve athletic performance, and I found that really hard to believe. He said it'll literally cut recovery time from exercise so a person can exercise with more intensity and more frequency and not get near as sore, or even sore at all, when they've been on this product. And I heard all these things, and it just sounded too good to be true. Well, it turned out to be true. So I knew I had not only a product breakthrough as far as what it does for a person, but I also had a marketing breakthrough, something that I felt I could take to the world, to tens of millions of people. When I saw really how extraordinary this breakthrough was, I knew it was way too big for Steve Scott. So I had to find the right partner in the business side. And I went to somebody you'd never think I'd go to. I went to my biggest competitors in television, Bill Guthrie and Greg Rinker. They had built a company called Guthrie Rinker that was doing more than $1.5 billion a year in sales. And I met with Greg and Bill personally and their other partners, and I told them, guys, I have found the biggest breakthrough of my life, but I can't do it by myself. I need your help. And after I told them everything I could about the product and showed them the science, they said, Steve, if this is what you claim to be, then yes, it would be the biggest breakthrough any of us would find. But you're not a doctor or a scientist. So they hired their own doctors and scientists to check us out, to check out the science. And less than a month later, they called and they said, where do you want the money? And they wired millions of dollars into our account, not to go into our pockets, but to help us to take this breakthrough to the world as fast as we could, because the world needs this breakthrough. We formed a company called Max International to sell this first product. And this time, instead of using television, there were reasons I felt it wasn't really made for the normal TV type audience. To me, it was much more a word of mouth product, because once a person tried it, after a few weeks, they couldn't stop talking about it. And I just pictured everybody telling their friends and relatives, and this massive thing happening that just grew and grew and grew because of the product experience. And so we launched it with a whole different model, and it became one of the fastest growing companies in history. It was amazing what was happening, and the reports we were hearing from people of all ages, athletes, non-athletes, people my age, senior citizens, younger people. Everybody was having an incredible experience, it seemed like, on this product. In fact, we had world records. Athletes were breaking world records on this product. It was approved by the governing agency for all sports, so athletes could use it without fear of being disqualified from any sport. And as if that wasn't enough, the next thing that happened is probably one of the most mind-boggling at all. A scientist from the University of Minnesota came our way. His name is Dr. Herbert T. Nagasawa. For 40 years, he was a professor of medicinal chemistry and toxicology at the University of Minnesota. At the same time, he was the senior scientist for the VA. And at the same time, for 32 years, he was the senior editor of the International Journal of Medicinal Chemistry. This scientist had had over 165 papers that were funded, peer-reviewed, and published by the National Institutes of Health and other scientific institutions. He was the scientist of scientists, brilliant man. Well, he comes into our office and shows us that he has the breakthrough of breakthroughs, something that took the science we were involved in and took it to a whole new level. And he showed us not one clinical study, but at the time there were over 12 clinical studies that had been done on this breakthrough that he had had, that had once again been funded, peer-reviewed, and published by the National Institutes of Health and other scientific institutions. And by the way, now there are over 20 on it. And as I saw his science, as we saw his science, we realized that this was our future, that he was dealing with a breakthrough of a level that none of us even dreamed was possible. And so we were blessed. We were able to partner with him, with his company. We merged our companies. We received all of their intellectual property. They had, I think it's 24 patents or patents pending. We got all of that science, plus Dr. Nagasawa and his team. When that happened, we expanded our product line, and now we are seeing breakthroughs that go even beyond anything I think he imagined. This past year, we launched our skincare line that has the same level of science. In fact, we have 4 patented ingredients in our skincare line, and what was unique about it is it literally made a visible difference in the very first use. And I had been in the skincare and makeup industry for decades, and I had never seen anything like it make that big of a difference so quick. So we called it Visible Solutions. You don't have to wait until your skin problem is solved to see a difference. You're watching it right in front of your eyes. And if we've applied our science to nutrition and to the defense mechanisms of the human cell and to skincare, why not apply it to other things like weight loss? So there's no area that we're not working on. We are so excited not only about the breakthroughs we have right now, but the breakthroughs that are just around the corner and the breakthroughs that are a year or two from now. But we're working on it all. And our associates have come to trust us that when we bring something out, we don't hope that it makes a difference. We have the scientific evidence that it makes a difference, and we are actively pursuing the science in each of these areas so that we will always be the leading edge in the areas that we're in. We've got the science, we've got the commitment, and now we have the partnership with tens of thousands of associates, people just like you, using this home-based income model to not only take our products to the world, but to improve their own economic condition. Let me tell you what I love most about Max International and our partnership with tens of thousands of associates. It can be summed up in the word significance. You see, because our products are transformational in a person's life, whether it's a young athlete or a senior citizen, it doesn't matter. They all get to experience the benefits in this product. In fact, athletes have broken 14 world records on this product in the last few years. I mean, that's significant. But it's no less significant when you see somebody who thinks, this is as good as my life gets, and it's not very good. And all of a sudden, you bring out a transformational change to where that person wakes up every day saying, whoa, this is unbelievable. I feel great today. That's significant. It's significant when we can take a school teacher and give them that extra income so they can actually go on a vacation with their family or go out to eat. It's significant when we give a person who has been told their whole life, just like I was, that they'll never succeed, and all of a sudden see that person succeed beyond anything they ever imagined, beyond anything their family ever imagined. To see that kind of transformation economically, is significant, and we're seeing it all over the world. I love that Max International is expanding to country after country. It is so exciting to go and see people who never had any financial opportunity all of a sudden see their lives transformed to where they become literally economic business builders with dozens and then hundreds and then with thousands of people. That's what we're seeing at Max International. I've got to tell you, in my life and business, this is the single most gratifying, fulfilling, and enjoyable business I've ever been a part of. I hope you'll join us.